I should have been a skater, maybe a heartbreaker, some kind of creator, simple money maker. I'm just a simple money maker. Time passing me by, I'm cold but it's July, and I know that my disguise will melt off in a sunrise. And I know that it's designed for the sun to make me shine, but it feel like this time that my heart's been mummified, and I won't make it to the night. They tell me I'm too young to be thinking like this, got my life ahead of me but feel like it's in abyss, like my life left for a mistress. Call me back, I must have missed it. I should have been a skater, maybe a heartbreaker, some kind of creator, simple money maker. I'm just a simple money maker. I think I can fix myself if I write rhymes, but I'm lying to myself, and I know that it's a sign that the more I try to sing and the more I ink it down, I get further in my head, and the ink it makes me drown. All these words I put on paper, they become my traitor, saying I'm a failure. Fuck was my eraser. I left.
Hold on. Hold on. That song is by Half an Orange and Chillin' Dude.
What? What? Half an Orange and Chillin' Dude.
Do you know?
I have no clue who those people are.
You have no idea who Chillin' Dude is?
No.
Chillin' Dude was a freaking Melee pro.
No. Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, he was. That song featured Chillin' Dude, the Super Smash Brothers, like back when the scene barely existed, pro dude. That song was
now
called
he's Pro Dude, not Chillin' Dude.
Simple Moneymaker, for those of you who didn't get to hear that because it's on a podcast. And I don't have the rights to do Monster Cat stuff on the podcast platform. Yeah. Chillin' Dude. I was like, I know that voice. And then I looked over, I was like, holy shit, it's Chillin' Dude.
It's Chillin' Dude. I don't know, but still, it's Chillin' Dude.
Look him up later. Look him up.
I will.
Welcome,
I'm
everybody.
right now. I have a computer right in front of me.
Do it. Look it up while I introduce us. I'm Sagan Rufus. He's MC Calamity 3. This is episode 8 of the Dungeons and Downloads podcast, streaming to you live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Atlantic time, and all the major podcasting platforms tomorrow, which is Tuesday.
Yeah.
That was a lot of words.
That was a lot of words.
I'm still
He's a Fox player. I mean, who plays Fox? Hiya.
I mean, high-level Fox and Melee, like back when the scene barely
It's
existed.
great, but still, it's Fox. Probably did a fantastic job. He could probably kick my butt very easily, but still, it's Fox.
What are we going to talk about today, Cal?
Nothing. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good day.
Wow. No, for today, in our first installment, we're going to be going over glitches and just talking about some funny things. We're just pretty much going to, shoot the shit and talk about glitches that we know, some good, bad, whatever. And yeah, then we're going to have a mystery segment in between, which I have no clue. And I'm still just like,
Cal has no idea.
Nervous. I don't even know what's happening. I'm just chilling out, hoping for the best. And then after that, we're going to be doing some more D&D stuff, continuing what we started last time with our build a campaign.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
Yeah, that's today.
So I guess let's just get right into. Let's just get right on in there.
So Rufus, what are your thoughts on glitches in general? Give me your take.
As a casual player or as a speedrunner?
Loaded question. As in anything. This is a very loaded question. I know I didn't ask you this beforehand. This is it's a lot to take in. As
a casual player, most of the time I don't like glitches because usually they end up breaking the game for a casual player. But if it's like a funny glitch, or you're in the process of glitch hunting, Like, I don't like super obvious glitches that ruin the game. I think those are stupid. But
you know what game had super obvious glitches that ruined the game?
What game?
Donkey Kong 64.
Hey. Not my fault that you put the expansion card in backwards when you were a kid.
No, it's just a broken game. But anyway.
Is it really a glitch at that point? It's a broken game.
Yeah, it's a glitch. Many glitches make a broken game.
But
yeah, no, I mean, I think glitches. I don't come into contact with a lot of game breaking glitches in my life, so mostly they're just funny or useful for speedrunning.
Yeah.
So I have like, as long as it's not a complete buggy mess, it's totally fine with me.
I honestly believe it was more of an issue, like glitches in general. Not that there were more, but glitches were more of an issue GameCube and before when you couldn't just patch it out. Like if you sent out a copy with a game breaking glitch, your game just was out there and probably sucked, right?
Or you released a 1.1 version of it or something like that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Some people did with carts. Yeah.
Hopefully you caught it quick enough and you could. In some cases, it was like, well, we have like 2 million of these. What are we going to do now, right?
Exactly. You're going to do nothing. You're just going to be like, oh, well, that's too bad.
Yeah, exactly. But for the
do you have?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you go first.
For the most part, I like outside of like a casual player trying to enjoy the game. See, this is kind of like, it's a really weird conversation for me to have because I love using the corruptor machine, which his sole purpose is to feed random bits into memory and cause the game to glitch out.
Yeah.
It's like, unless I'm looking to do it on purpose, I don't want to accidentally walk off the side of the world into a way that causes me to void out and for some reason you can't recover and you have to reset the game and you lose all your progress.
It's true. That is kind of obnoxious.
So it really depends on the type of glitch. Yeah. Exactly.
What about you? It seems like that's a pretty good take.
Like some of them are useful, like in speedrunning. Like the reason a lot of glitches don't get patched out in speedrunning is because they don't affect a casual player. Like if you manage to wiggle your way on top of a roof and then slide under a vent and then, mash all the buttons at the same time and then you can get out of bounds. Like nobody like really cares about that because you weren't supposed to be able to get onto the roof in the first place. So what are the odds that a casual player is going to do that? That's very rare. That's why unless a lot of
just like mashing the buttons and not looking at the screen, just like walking around.
Exactly. So like that's why there's a lot of them that don't ever get patched out.
True. These days, even the ones that should, like, there are times where things that don't even need to get patched out because they want to, fix something.
Yeah, that's more of an ego pride
patch pretty easily. Yeah.
It's an ego pride thing. Oh, they can't glitch our game. It's not like we released it way too quickly and under budget and we decided we were going to fix it later. No, it was a good game the whole time. Here's 17 patches.
Fallout 76.
Cyberpunk.
No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky wasn't that glitchy. No Man's Sky just didn't have anything in it. And then they added stuff to the game after it released. And now it's actually pretty good.
Never really played it. Heard about.
So there's a sky, but it's No Man's.
Oh, so it's so wait. So you play as a woman.
Yes, you know that scene in Lord of the Rings where the guy is like, "No man can kill me."
Yeah.
I am no man. It's the game about that.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if maybe it was actually Hamlet.
Sure, we can do that too.
Some people got that, some people didn't. If you didn't get it, you should probably go read a book.
Hamlet's a good book, but it's also an older book, so like.
But like, it's one that you would have been forced. A little bit. You would have been forced to read that, right? You were probably forced to read that.
I never had to read Hamlet. I do know what you're talking about, and I do know Hamlet, but I've never had to read it. Or I might have had to read it, and then I just end up BSing the paper on it and just not reading it. I was terrible. in English class.
Gonna go a bit off track here, but after, so like we had to do like a lot of Shakespeare, and one of the ones we did was obviously Romeo and Juliet. But when it was done, we got to watch the fucking like 1990s movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
So I didn't like it. I think we watched it too. I just didn't like it.
Oh no, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But like, it's one of those things where you look back now and you laugh your ass off, because like in the book, they're like, they drew their rapiers and they had a sword fight. And like in the fucking movie, they pull out these guns that just say sword on them.
Yeah.
Cause it's like a modern day New York interpretation.
Yeah, it was, yeah. We had to do a play, a Romeo and Juliet play for our English class.
Mm-hmm.
It was just we only had to act in front of the rest of our English class, but for some reason we had to memorize the line and have parts in a play. I don't understand why.
But you just had.
But that's how we learn. That's one of the ways we learn Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, you just do an awkward play.
Freshman English with no one that wanted to act or knew how to act. It's totally fine.
Nothing's better than getting a bunch of awkward teens that try to act.
You had young, socially awkward Cal who had 3 lines.
Damn, man. I feel like I can just imagine. Again, I'm going to go back to Hamlet. And like Cal's like, please don't give me any lines. Please don't give me any lines. Like, you can be a tree. And you're like, yes. And then you get to the scene where the forest starts to move closer to the castle. And you're just like, fuck.
No, I mean, if I did anything in the theater, I did. Later on, I was in part of the pit. I did drums. I was not on stage. I was the one playing music or backstage. I was never part of the on stage stuff, except for that one time where I had 3 lines, and it's like, okay, this is fine.
Okay, bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
Okay,
what's your favorite glitchy game?
Honestly,
or some of your favorite. It doesn't have to be your top favorite.
I don't remember exactly which game. I just remember the series. There was a bunch of them, and I don't remember which one. It was like Skate 2, I think, or Skate 3.
Okay. Skate was pretty, yeah.
One of the Skate games, there was like no collision on anything. And like, that was one of those games where, like, at least, I don't know, maybe you and your friends were different, but we like, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was really fun and really good. But I don't know anyone who actually played the campaign modes of those games. They just like playing like the verses and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, this was one of those situations where like the fact that Skate was so broken made it better. Like,
right.
You could
playing verses and just fooling around. Like, yeah.
Literally, you just go in 2-player mode and it'd be like, hey, freestyle so you can get the most points, and all you were trying to do is knock the other person into the car so they go flying across the map, because somehow that's how collision works.
Nice.
That would be mine.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna go with an old classic, Skyrim. When it first released, I loved the game a lot, but it was a buggy mess. There were some really fun ones in there. There was the one that the giants would just send you flying into the air.
Yeah,
and you just ragdoll. There's actually a fun. I believe that is still in the game to this day in every version of it, because the developers thought it was so funny that they kept it in. Again,
that's an example of a glitch that's not game breaking and it's just funny.
Yeah, no, you just get launched into the air.
Skate was just a broken game. It was just so broken. Again, I don't even know.
Yeah. But I'd say Skyrim, because most of I never had, and if I ever play it again, I'm gonna jinx myself. I never had a save file corrupted. I never had any of that happen. It was just like an extreme ragdoll or a little bit of an NPC glitch or something like that. I never had an issue with the actual save corruption, which I know people had, because Bethesda games are. Yep, they are. Yup.
Why does that plant clip into the wall? Because we didn't have enough budget. But you can't move the plant. Like, it's not like I put it there and it clipped in. It's just in the house and it's clipped into the wall. Todd Howard, my man. Like, $10 extra to the testers, okay? Just buy them lunch once. I'm sure they'll find it. Me. I found it. I don't even look through houses in games. I just like, I run through the dungeon and I finish it, and I'm just, why? Like, I get that collision's hard. Like, collision is hard. You never know where a player's going to pick something up or put it down or push it, but you put the plant there.
It was the old iteration of speedrunning. I don't know if they still do it for any percent, but once you get into the place, once you get your hands untied, you pick up a plate and you just run at a wall, and then you just go out of bounds. You literally pick up a plate, run at a wall, and then you just out of bounds, and you just go to the end of that dungeon, and then you go do your thing, and you do that a couple times. There was just a collision thing where, like, I would never do this as a player,
Yeah,
but as a speedrunner, you literally would just take a plate, run against a wall, and you're just out of bounds. I recreated this too after watching it just to see what would happen, and yeah, it is that easy. I don't know if it is in the current version, but at least when it was, you just go boop boop.
And maybe it's because I'm not a game developer, but I feel like there are just so many engines out there now. The collision can't be
that hard. I feel like it's really hard. Like, the very short stint into trying to become a game developer of my early 20s, collision's hard, man.
I mean, it's hard to like actually make the engine, but like once the engine exists, like, yeah, there might be a tiny corner, but like look at Skate.
Collision's hard, man.
All these squares make a circle.
Old collision and old hitboxes. You don't have circles, you have squares. You just gotta make it work, man. But the circle exists in real life. Why can't we make a circle? I don't know. It's just the game engine. Make it a bunch of squares. It'll be fine.
I don't make the rules. I just make the hitboxes. Oh my god.
Did you ever have like a particularly bad experience with Glitch? Like a game that you're just like, I just didn't like it because of glitches?
Honestly, I've been pretty lucky throughout most of my life of getting reviews early and realizing that they were a buggy mess. But have
you ever ignored the reviews in one of your games?
No.
Okay.
And luckily older games didn't really have that problem as much because they couldn't just patch them out. But the one that I guess I witnessed, it didn't so much happen to me as I was there and I was going to buy the game and then I played it with a friend and was like, nope. I'm pretty sure it was a port of one of the Batman Arkham games.
Oh, those were kind of glitchy. The later one specifically. I don't remember Arkham Asylum being that glitchy.
I forget which one it was, but it came out like 10 years ago-ish.
Now I feel old.
It came out like 10 years ago. And like it was a port. And
the second one, then yeah, now I feel old.
I don't remember which way they ported it. I think it was to PC, I think they ported it to PC and it was just terrible. And I was like, nope.
You know what game came out 17 years ago, Rufus?
Monsters Inc. for Game Boy Advance.
When I was 11. Wow. World of Warcraft. I played that on release.
I had the option.
17 years ago.
I had the option to play that on release, but I had dial-up and I was like, nah. No.
Anyway.
What about your buggy mess?
Brink.
Yep. Yeah, you talked about Brink before. Yeah.
I talked about Brink before. It's terrible. The game is terrible. Imagine. So it was the AI was the worst part of it. But I want you to imagine a bunch of brain dead monkeys.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is all.
That's right.
So it's a control point game where you're playing when you're the mission. There's control point missions where you're supposed to go from point A, then you're supposed to go to point B to control it.
Yep.
So the AI would function, especially on your side, as if it was a series of brain dead monkeys, and all they did was just move towards the next point and just die in droves and droves.
So
and they wouldn't do anything really useful except for like fire a shot or two, and you'd have to try and do everything and maneuver, and then the enemy AI would just kill you, and it's like, well, my team, which is a bunch of AI, is literally useless, so what am I even doing? And after 5 hours, no, it's like after like 10 minutes, you'd eventually get to point B, and you would barely control it in time, but you would have no fun.
Oh my god. So basically the AI was like a payload that you had to escort.
Except worse. It was worse than a payload.
That's terrible.
It was a terrible game. And I was really excited for it on release. And
a lot of people
bad.
were. A lot of people were. They made it look really good coming up to release.
And then it was bad. Exactly.
Then they did a big bad.
I quickly open up my Steam list. I don't think I have anything on Steam that was really buggy either. I feel like I've been mostly, except for Brink, I've been pretty good. Fallout 76 was pretty buggy at launch and just didn't have much, but it was mostly that it didn't have much to it. It is still a buggy mess, but it was at least a fun buggy mess now.
Like I said, I have been relatively like not lucky, but like I don't know. Maybe I just didn't have like enough disposable income to buy games as they were coming out, or like I couldn't buy all of the ones I wanted. So I just made sure that I was well informed to not buy a shitty one, because that was also back before Steam had returns. So like if I was going to play something, I was going to make sure that it was not a piece of garbage. Now I'm like, hey, I'll buy it.
I'll buy it and then I'll return it.
Pretty much. Like
Cyberpunk 2077. I did pre-order that because I was like, CD Projekt Red, oh my god.
They're reputable.
We've talked about this in pre-orders, and we've talked about this game multiple times. We're going to bring it up in glitches, like we already brought it up. I'm bringing it up again. It was a bit of a mess, and I will eventually play through that game. Maybe I won't. I have 6.9 hours in the game. I don't think I can ever play it again.
Return it.
I have 6.9 hours. I can't even return it.
What's the cutoff?
No, I have 6.9 hours.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
I mean, take a picture, then return
it. No. Well, no, I will play that game when it's give it. I'm going to give it another year. Probably next year I'm going to play it in full. You've heard it here first, folks, on my stream. I will probably play the game.
Somebody clip that.
I already have someone, I think, clipped. I don't know if anyone clipped the whole I'll do a damageless Cyber Shadow at 1,000 subs. I did say it. I also said at 1,500 I'd play League of Legends for 12 hours.
Okay, guys. Clip. Keep it going. Get all those clips. I want to bring this up like at his wedding or something. Like, hey, Cal, you know what I got you for your wedding? 1,000 gifted subs! You think you're going on your honeymoon? Get back there, you little piece of shit. You're going to do a damageless Cyber Shadow run.
Damageless Cyber Shadow. I mean, the chances of that happening are so slim to none. I'll stick by it, but yeah.
I'm going to start saving. Now,
yeah,
a lot of people kind of sometimes feel like they have to get married against the clock because maybe their biological clock is ticking. For you, it's just I got to get married before Rufus before Rufus gets enough money.
Quick.
So, mail order brides. This episode is sponsored by
No.
They would never sponsor us.
It's true. Who would sponsor us?
You.
I snapped my fingers and did finger guns for any of you people listening. I know that you couldn't see it, and I'm sorry that you're watching and listening in the inferior version, but it's fine.
I will if you would like to sponsor the stream, I'll put your logo over Cal's face for a whole episode.
Thank God. I don't want to see it anymore. No one else should. I'm just joking.
So I'm going to skip a couple of these because I feel like we talked about them, kind of.
Wait a minute.
We can circle back to them.
Yeah, no, we already kind of have. Okay.
But there's one that really caught my eye. What on earth is a developer-intended glitch, Cal?
Okay, so I put that mostly there for the giant glitch. The giant's making you flying, keeping it in as well. Or developer-intended glitch. Also, I'm going to spoil something from Arkham Asylum. If you haven't played the game, I'm very sorry, but I'm going to say it. And if you haven't, then it's your fault. Doing really cool things, like also Rhythm Doctor did it, where it looks like a glitch. So Arkham Asylum did a thing where like it made you think that your entire CD was corrupted somehow, and you restarted the game, but you were actually just on the Joker's stretcher, and like it had something to do with Scarecrow. Was really cool.
Okay.
Rhythm Doctor made the game literally move around both screens, making it look like it was a glitch.
Undertale kind of did
That's
that
what I mean by developer intended.
So I guess I just wouldn't call that a glitch.
It is though. In your mind, when you see it, it's a glitch. You're like, oh god.
Oh my god, the game it just glitches nonstop. I keep waking up on this stretcher.
But yeah, that's what I meant by developer. There's also no other of those notes make any sense at all.
I also like the next one, glitches that look like glitches but aren't glitches. Please tell me your favorite glitch that looks like a glitch that's not a glitch.
So in Undertale, when the game closes out.
Oh, I get it. Every other game was a developer intended glitch, and then only Undertale is a glitch that looks like a glitch but isn't a glitch.
You get it? Yeah.
Okay. But
like, okay, so back to developer intended glitches. You can't tell me that some of these AAA companies that release these dumpster fire of games don't like.
I think there's a difference.
Like they don't do QA testing. They have to know that they exist.
I'm going to come back to Todd Howard placing the plant in the house that's clipped through the wall.
It's on purpose. It was developer intended.
So there's a difference between an Easter egg and a glitch.
Is there?
Sometimes.
Same thing in my mind.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So I'm reading through these notes.
They get better and better.
How can I stretch this category? And is it really worth it?
Is it worth it?
Is this all just a glitch with funky text? The world and how the Matrix is just a buggy mess.
We're all in a Matrix, man.
Oh, man. I wasn't going to get political, but here we go.
Deja vu, dude.
What if we're all just dust in the wind? I close my eyes only for a moment.
Like
This is the kind of stuff that makes me lose sleep at night. I check the podcast notes on Sunday night. There's nothing. And I check Monday morning, and there's nothing. And Cal is streaming. He's like, "Don't worry, I got it." And then I look at them, and half of it's just dust in the wind, and I'm like, "Fucking Kansas."
Laugh, you know? Yep. We got Kansas.
But sometimes the secretary just gets bored. This is the best part about not reading the notes beforehand.
I literally sit down for like 30 minutes before randomly on a Monday, and I just write whatever comes to my mind. I make some serious notes, and then I just start writing. Like, you know what? Sure.
The best part is, like, I purposefully don't read ahead after the first time he did it because I want to experience it. And like sometimes the first one is just like subtle, and it's like, I wonder where we're going. And then it's like dust in the wind, and it's like, okay, we've devolved now. The topic is probably over. And as I read down, it's like end of glitches. I'm like, okay, there's.
Well, Rufus, what about the end of glitches? What's going to happen when there are no more glitches in video games?
It's not going to happen. Developers are lazy. We're all lazy.
Can we call bad netcode glitches or no? Is that just bad netcode?
Well, it depends on what the netcode does.
Wolcen was a really cool game that was an action RPG, like top-down Diablo-esque.
Yeah.
But if you tried to play it online, it was like watching your partner just go slideshow, like pop, 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 pop. And it was just impossible to play because of netcode. That was a bad glitch.
Netcode collision
And
is the
I haven't
greatest.
looked at it in a while, but I think they've been trying to fix it, but it took them a long time. I think also their server just got hit way too hard because that game gained way more traction than they weren't expecting. And then it just crumbled under its own weight.
They just got hugs galore.
Can we call it a glitch that A Way Out was a game that we just never played that we were supposed to play? Is that a glitch?
It's a glitch yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
It's a glitch in our Matrix. Well, I have my Steam list up here. And I saw A Way Out. It's like, oh yeah, Rufus gifted me that game, and we're supposed to play that someday.
Rufus bought 2 copies of that game. I wonder where they are now.
You know what was a really good game? The next game they released, that studio, I forget what it's called.
It Takes
really good
Two
co-op game. It Takes Two, fantastic game.
It looks good. Like, I haven't played it. It looks
very
good.
Portal. It's not. There's no portals or anything in it, but like the way they do co-op is so much like Portal.
Honestly,
2 co-op. It kind of like so good.
It reminds me of like Portal 2 meets Magicka, almost.
Yeah.
Like it's
a bit kind of feels like.
It's a bit more chaotic than Portal.
There's one. The like second to last or last level is all based off of music, and the way they did everything, like you have like a certain power per level, and one of the characters can sing, and the other character, I believe, plays like cymbals or something, and like the singing actually happens in tune to the background music.
Oh, okay.
And like it's just so cool how they line everything up, and that entire level is probably my favorite level of the game, and it's amazing video game.
I might have to play it.
Know another person and just want to be like, hey, we should play this game, like grab a friend, grab a stranger off the street. Don't actually do that. That's probably pretty dangerous.
Grab a stranger, go to jail, collect $200.
Find someone else to play this game with. It's definitely worth it.
Find someone who's not me and play this game.
No, I mean, I'd play it with Rufus, but you and I never have enough time to do much of anything else.
This is true.
We still have to play A Way Out first before we would play It Takes Two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It is true. Rufus, are you ready? Because I'm not, but I'm here for the ride.
So, Cal, I need you to minimize
stream.
I need you to minimize stream. I need you to minimize chat.
Oh, yeah, I'm not looking at anything.
Okay. You can't have chat or nothing open. Do you know what time it is, Cal?
I'm not looking at anything. I can't see the time.
It is time to play a game.
Who's that Pokemon?
Oh, God.
So it is time.
That doesn't know Pokemon. Sure, let's go.
That's exactly why I picked this. So don't look at the stream. Do you have it closed?
I have this. Yeah, I have it closed.
Okay. So here's the way the game works. The way the game works is I've got like 6 questions here about Pokemon, and they're multiple choice. So you get like by default just like a 25% chance to get each of them.
No one ever was.
There's 6 questions. If you can get half of them right, you're a Pokemon master. That's all.
I don't want to get half of them right because I don't want to be a Pokemon
that's all
master.
It takes. You've got 3 lifelines and only 6 questions. You should, with a 25% chance to get any one of them right. I feel like the odds could be in your favor, but also I feel like there's no way you can do this. I mean, maybe.
Bulbasaur.
Hold on. There's a question. So what I've done here is I've taken the Pokedex entries.
Ninetales.
For these Pokemon.
Okay.
And I've written them out and taken out the Pokemon name. And I made a multiple choice question. You got 3 lifelines. You can you can hear the Pokemon's cry in game. Like when you catch it lets out a cry. I don't know if that one will be super helpful to you or not, but maybe you'll God mode it when you hear it.
Nope.
You've got help, and when you ask for help, I will initiate a straw poll and I'll send it to you, and you can see what the probably like 2 people watching this think it is.
Is it Regia Ice? What's that?
And then the third one is called Peek. Peek means you can pull up the stream and you can look at what we're seeing. So those are your 3 lifelines. Are you ready for the first one, Cal?
No.
Okay, then let's play
Who's that Pokemon? I just want to travel across the land.
This Pokemon begins dancing as soon as it hears cheerful, festive music. This Pokemon is said to appear when it hears singing of children on hiking outings. Is this Pokemon Baltoy, Ludicolo, Skiploom, or Jigglypuff?
I mean, just gonna say the one name I know, and it's Jigglypuff.
Is that your final? Do you want to use a lifeline? Is that final answer?
No, I'm not gonna use a lifeline on the first one.
Fail. F minus minus. It's Ludicolo.
Okay.
Do you want to see what he looks like?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you can see it in the VOD. You can.
Oh, I saw it. He looks like he's gonna do the that hat dance.
Yeah.
Huh?
Then I put the stream away.
Are any of these like past Gen 1? Because I'm not gonna know anything past Gen 1.
A couple of them are.
Ludicolo wasn't Gen 1.
Yeah. No, most of them are Gen 1 actually. But sure. it only goes as far as Gen 3, but most of them are Gen 1 actually.
Sure.
But enough talk, because it's time to play.
Are we already playing Who's That Pokemon?
Yeah, but now we got to play again.
Sure.
During the daytime, this Pokemon buries itself in the soil to absorb nutrients from the ground using its entire body. The more fertile soil, the glossier its leaves become. Am I talking about Oddish, Sandshrew, Diglett, or Slugma?
I want to say Oddish because Oddish has leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Oddish.
Oh my God, you got one!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I could picture the Pokemon because it had leaves and the Pokedex said leaves.
That is one more than I thought you were going to get.
Oh, really? You thought I got 0?
Without using a lifeline, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, Oddish has leaves. I know exactly what Oddish looks like.
Yeah.
I feel like I've never watched Pokemon. I just don't like it. I mean, also, I've watched Digimon, so I must have watched all Pokemon, right?
Yeah, they're totally the same.
They're the same hot take.
Yeah, you got a quote about that somewhere. You've already been shamed.
I do. It's like quote 6 or 7.
Okay, here we go. Next one. Next one. You ready? You ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Okay. Then it's time for us to guess.
Who's that Pokemon?
This Pokemon has an extremely violent nature that compels it to challenge other living things to battle. Other life forms refuse to travel in ponds inhabited by this Pokemon, making them desolate places. Am I talking about
King Shark? Wait a minute. This isn't Suicide Squad.
Am I talking about Mantine, Cloyster, Tentacruel, or Crawdont?
I'm going to say Tentacruel because it's cruel in his name. I'm going to say my lifelines for the last 3.
No, not even close. It was Crawdont.
God damn it.
Not
Tentacruel. Wouldn't it be Tentacruel?
Well, I mean, that's misleading. That is definitely, yeah.
Mount.
Honestly, I don't know if I can't.
He's a lobster dude.
Yeah. I can't think of a wronger answer. I'm honestly.
Tentacruel?
Yeah. You think a Tentacruel? That's like the size. They're like the size of like fucking skyscrapers. You think they live in a pond?
Do you think I know the size of every Pokemon?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna quiz you on random lore, and then we'll talk about this next week.
Oh yeah, no, I am very well aware that I'm about to get screwed in whatever the next challenge.
Oh my God, it's gonna be something you never played.
Oh, I hope
you know some WoW lore. Well, I'm gonna go into the WoW lore. Some WoW lore.
Just keep in mind, I gave you multiple choice.
Well, I'll totally give you multiple choice. 50 multiple choice. Got him.
Okay, next one. Okay, yep. Cal, you got to be really careful because you need to guess.
Who's that Pokemon?
This Pokemon hangs from a tree branch and patiently waits for prey to come along. If the Pokemon is disturbed while eating by someone shaking a tree, when it drops down to the ground, it explodes with no warning.
Mewtwo. Go on.
Am I talking about Metapod, Pupitar,
No.
Pineco, or Voltorb? And you have 3 lifelines and there's only 3 questions.
What are the lifeline options?
You can either listen to the cry from when you catch them in the video game. You can ask
I should use one. Yeah.
a few people, whatever few people we have in chat to answer a straw poll, or you can look at the silhouette.
I'm going to look at the silhouette.
Okay.
So I can look at the stream now?
Yeah, you can look at the stream.
What were the four choices?
1 second. Their 4 choices were Metapod, Pupitar, Pineco, or Voltorb.
Oh, it's Pineco.
Yes, it is. It's Pineco. Yeah, you got it.
There's no way that shape is literally anything other than Pineco.
You picked like the best one to do that on.
I was gonna say Pupitar because I was like, it's a monkey. It's like, but monkeys don't explode when they fall on the ground.
I don't know what kind of zoos you go to, but no, not typically.
Monkeys don't explode when they fall on the ground. Okay.
Good job. Good job. That was a good night. Now you can
I
close.
just gotta get one more right. Can I decline the title though?
No, I'm sorry. The title is just as much of a punishment as the game. Don't you just love playing this game?
Who's that Pokemon? It's gonna be Final Fantasy lore. Just, old school RPG it up. Next week. Get ready.
This Pokemon Center has an organ called the core that shines bright red. If you go to a beach toward the end of the summer, the glowing cores of these Pokemon look like a star in the sky. Am I talking about Staryu, Alakazam, Hypno, or Starmie?
Oh God, I know it's Staryu or Starmie, but of course you gotta put the two of those in there. It's Alakazam.
You can either listen to the cry or ask the chat.
Our people are in chat, Rufus. I can't look at chat.
I see B-hole is here.
Do you want to?
I don't know.
We'll ask the chat, and if no one responds, can I choose another lifeline?
If
no one responds,
if nobody responds to the straw poll, I'll let you take another one.
I'll do the we'll do the straw poll. We'll get people involved.
Oh yeah. Okay, what Pokemon? And then we got Staryu. I'm gonna star me. Alakazam.
You can just take the other two out if you really want to.
Oh no, they might.
It's definitely not Alakazam.
I know.
You
have no idea.
I know it's not Alakazam. It doesn't have a bright red core.
There we go. I put it in both the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat, and I'll give it to you here now so that you can take a look.
Alakazam is Spoon Man. Come together with your hands. Fun fact: I know how to play the spoons.
Okay, we've got one vote.
I know how to play the spoons.
We've got one vote, Cal.
Got one vote. Okay, I'm gonna give it like another minute.
Yeah, we'll give it like 1 minute. Have you seen the results of the poll yet?
I see there's one vote for Staryu.
What do you think? Do you trust?
I'm gonna go with the poll. I'm gonna trust the poll on this one, and then I'll just never use it again if it's wrong. Then I've lost all faith in chat.
I mean, you're never going to be able to.
This is how it goes. No, this is all or nothing. This is all or nothing, Rufus. I don't think you understand.
I mean, I do, but you're also not going to get a chance to use the chat again. So I don't know why you're so adamant that you'll never use it.
Well, I mean, we're not just like we're gonna do this again at some point, right?
Oh yeah, probably. That's probably true.
This is gonna be a little bit of a reoccurring segment.
I don't know who voted because B-hole's saying it's Alakazam, so I don't know who voted, but
okay. We're locking it in. We're gonna go on Staryu.
You're gonna go Staryu?
We're going Staryu.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Oh my god, you're totally right. It's Staryu.
Oh my god.
You're let's see if you can be a super duper Pokemon master.
I'm gonna get this one wrong just so I'm not. And I also just want to hear the battle cry, actually. That's the only one I'm here for.
Oh really? Oh, okay. Okay, so
don't just play it though.
Oh no. No. Yeah, dude. I'm a professional.
You know, the clip loaded up, I can say it. Who's that Pokemon? I got you. Oh, there we go. Who's that Pokemon? Okay, you got it too. We're good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, dude, I've been playing it every time. Of course, I got the freaking clip.
I don't know, man. Maybe you just got so excited for me being the Pokemon master, and you're not the Pokemon master. You're like blue, and I'm red. How does it make you feel?
I'm blue. And indeed, I could die. This Pokemon flies around the sky in search of powerful opponents. It breathes fire off such a great heat that it melts anything. However, it never turns its fiery breath on an opponent weaker than itself. Am I talking about Moltres, Charizard, Typhlosion, or Dragonite?
I mean, I want to hear the sound. Though I'm not going to know what it is, but I do want to hear the sound.
Okay.
You have too many fire Pokemon in there.
Here, I'll play it again. I'll play it again. One sec. Oh, that's not it. That's it. For some reason it plays it backwards at the end of the clip.
Nice.
Okay, this is it.
I'm just going to say Charizard. It's probably Dragonite, but I'll say Charizard or Moltres. What? It's Charizard. Charizard.
Charizard.
That's the only Pokemon I really know.
Final answer?
Yeah.
It's Charizard!
Oh my god! Was that the one you expected me to get out of all of them? Because Charizard?
I honestly half expected you. I half expected you to use the silhouette on the first one and just have no idea.
What was the first one again?
It was Ludicolo.
Oh, it was the guy with the hat. Yeah. No, I didn't have any clue what it was. I just was saving my 3 lifelines for the end.
Yeah, I kind of figured you'd use that one first to start strong, and then you'd just be like, "What the fuck?" And then after that,
I used it on the pine cone one, which is like obviously a pine cone.
Oh no, it was great. Hey, and yeah, Oda just missed the straw poll just by about a minute.
Damn it, Oda. I blame you. I know you blame me, but I blame you.
Yeah, so that was Who's That Pokemon?
Who's that Pokemon? You know what
we should wait.
do? Who's that Pokemon?
You were saying?
We should just do this every time we feel like it. I'll try and make one for next week, and it'll be random. I'm not gonna have a good. Maybe I'll play the beginning of the Final Fantasy battle music every time, because I don't really have an anime to go off of.
You did
then
good.
Next week, and then the week after that, you'll do Who's That JoJo, and then I just won't.
Oh my god!
I would literally just say nope. I'd be like, I would just guess
JoJo
every single one.
JoJo trivia. Damn, I didn't even think of that. Thank you, Cal.
That wouldn't even be. I don't even think that would be fun to watch because I would have zero chance of knowing anything.
I feel like okay. So what I would do is I would pick like a ridiculous question where none of them sound right, and then like when you're no. There's no way that there is a guy named Reginald E.O. Speedwagon. That can't be.
That's amazing if there is actually. Is there a guy named
Ario
Speedwagon?
I'm not going to tell you.
There's a guy named Ario Speedwagon.
There might be.
Did he hear it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from another? You've been messing around?
I think he heard it from the UPS guy. Take
It on the Run. Classic Ario Speedwagon song. Raggin? Speedwagon?
Raggin, yeah. Ragging along. Okay. I can't.
That was fun. We'll do it again.
I like
But we should try and keep it to like the other person might know something and not JoJo trivia.
Hey, it was your idea.
It was not. It was my idea to shut it down.
Yeah, these challenges can get better. I don't know if they'll ever get as elaborate as that one, because Who's That Pokemon just already came with the silhouettes and the like able to have cries and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they will all be this elaborate, but this one here, I just had the idea today and I was like, I'm going to do this. You're not going to know what we're doing.
I mean, I got 4 out of 6, right?
You did really good. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you.
I'm also not proud of myself. I didn't want to become Pokemon Master.
I knew like you had like no chance. Either you were gonna lose or you were gonna win, and that would be equally as upsetting. Like
yeah, that's what happened. So I won, and I was also upset.
So I guess let's move on to our final topic here. We're back into building a campaign, the series that we've been kind of going off of, and we've talked about a whole bunch of things. We've talked about your session 0 and how to get everybody on the same page, how to kind of create that anchor that is the contract between player and DM.
Usually you give them a page number and then they go there. Then everyone's on the same page.
Sometimes they have different books, and that's really weird.
Well, that's their fault then.
we talked about building the first encounter. We talked about building characters and villains that come to life. This is episode 8. We've talked about a lot of shit.
This episode? Well, you mean episode 8 as far as like D&D stuff in general? I thought you were talking about, this is only the 3rd installment to build the campaign though.
But we've been talking about D&D for 8 episodes. We've talked about a lot of stuff. So what are we talking about today, Cal? How are we going to help you build a campaign today?
How we're going to help?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about shaping a world and how to improv on the fly.
Yeah, that's
how to deal with players and how sometimes they just kind of do their thing, and that's life.
Yeah.
We might even go over a situation today where a campaign ends that recently happened to me. I've talked about on stream, where players ended on the fly.
So let's back up.
Honestly, like literally non-sarcastically, I'm not salty about it, but I do feel bad for my other players. I'm seriously not salty about it.
I'm not defensive, okay? I'm not defensive.
But I do feel bad for the other people that were playing. I'm not defensive.
I'm not upset. Are you sure, Cal? You seem a little... Oh, no, there he goes. Gone. Sucked into the black hole of time. So shaping the world.
So like...
Let's start there. We'll work our way down.
Sure. We'll shape our way down. Got it.
So one thing we talked about previously was that no matter where you are in your constructed world or prefab world, or however you got to the world that you're in D&D, whatever plane you're on, wherever you're at, time is going by. Where the characters aren't, things are happening. This isn't like Dwarf Fortress where shit actually has to happen all the time. You can figure it out later, but sometimes they're going to come into a spot and you're going to have to figure out what was going on there. So let's say the party leaves from nowhere town. Daggerfall. They leave from Daggerfall and they go on like a 2-month quest and they come back. Shit happened. Okay?
Like things happened.
Stuff happened while they were gone. So what happened? Did somebody die? Was there a birth that was notable? Maybe essentially the Messiah was born in Daggerfall. Maybe the government's changed. Maybe there is no government.
A coup happened.
A coup could have happened. Maybe also, pirates came in.
They left the town that was in disarray or something. Like maybe a town was destroyed and they had to leave. Maybe the town's been partially rebuilt.
Maybe while they were gone, the city got attacked and now the villagers blame the heroes for leaving in haste without notifying them that they were going to leave. You need to make sure that the world actually exists, because a lot of the times when we're playing D&D, we think, actually, I'm going to use a prop.
While you're looking for the prop, also, maybe the rebel hideout moved.
I'll use my switch. Your world is not just flat like this where nothing happens. If I turn it this way, you can see there's actually grooves and buttons, and there's more to this than just a flat surface, right? Like
I could see that anyway because there's depth
to
your webcam.
I know. Unfortunately, I'm trying to find an angle where this doesn't show anything. There we go. That's
You're not going to find one. I still see things. Yeah, no, there's no way because the screen.
Oh, look! Hey, look at how flat it is.
Is it? I mean, I still see like multiple grooves.
But your world can't be flat. Your world has to be evolving. Your world has to be moving along at the same pace or sometimes quicker than the players are ready for. The world is not moving and it becomes stagnant. It becomes like this really boring game of solitaire where you've already flipped through the whole deck and the game's over. And it's like, wait, I came back to this town and the same people are in the same bar eating the same food as when I left, and literally nothing's happened. So how would you shape your world? What's something you could do easily?
You can make events happen. A very easy thing to do, like for example, right before we took our break, I wanted to move you guys farther to the east. So I said the rebellion camp moved to the east because they're people and they're rebels, so they had to move because they didn't want to be found or whatever.
Yep.
So they moved to the east. Really easy way to shape your world. Like those rebels are moving and hiding, so they now take on a life of their own. And I also can move you guys slightly farther away towards different objectives. That's a really good way. Another really cool way is rebuilding a town. Like, let's say you saved a town and then you left and then you came back and that town now has like, I did this in my first campaign. My players took back a major city, the city of Flen. They took it back. And then when they came back a little while later, there were bars starting to be constructed and like barracks and things like that. And people were starting to move in and it gave it life.
Yeah. Those kind of things are really great. So like, especially the rebuilding of a town, especially if your characters were there before the town was destroyed, it might not be rebuilt in the same way, or there might be monuments built to the people who were lost. And I feel like, again, this kind of comes back to catering to your players as well. Some players aren't really going to give too much of a shit. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the times you come up with like all these great ideas and lores and the players just aren't really digging it. So kind of take some cues from your players. If your players, and it's not always new players or veteran players or old players or young players that'll do this, but sometimes the fact that the town was rebuilt was enough. Like sometimes you don't have to describe that the only thing that survived when the town was destroyed was the church bell and it had some holy power, but the villagers don't know that yet. Like sometimes, unless that's going to be a plot point, sometimes they don't care. Sometimes it's the opposite. They want to know if the masonry looks like it was done by the same guy. Or, is the general store in the same spot? Does it even have a sign? Did it change names? Did Barthen die? Like, some people want to know all that. Some people don't. So
I remember in the town that I had rebuilt, the only thing the biggest one of the description was like, you are the general store. It looks like it had just been starting to get put together and something like that. Like, there were still boxes on the counter and whatnot. Another really good way to really show how your world has depth is if you travel back in time 6 months and then you see everything that happened.
So that's what happened in my last adventure of my campaign.
I'm excited.
Basically, the characters were about to die, and then they were saved by a demigod who said, "Look, the only way that I can help you out is by sending you back in time."
Name is a demigod backwards.
Well, I mean, not really, but he's like, "I'm going to send you back in time 6 months." So how am I shaping the world? I'm shaping the world backwards. So I've decided that there's an endpoint to this world if nothing is done. And I've shaped it by 2 or 3 major world events that happened back to back. And the idea here, I guess I shouldn't give it all away, but the idea here is that these events in time anchor the players to the game. So if they've gone through like a festival, and then after the festival there was an attack, and then after that they had to go to another town, and then the end of the world. As soon as they start hearing about that festival, that should probably prompt them that their time may be running thin. If they hear that the festival is next week, then that means they're 5 months and 3 weeks through. But they should obviously have a better idea of time than that. It shouldn't just be next session. Oh, hey guys, the festival's next week.
What happened?
But like, it's going to give them, it should give them a sense of time. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. I've never really messed around with time travel in D&D before, so we'll see.
I'm ready.
But it's a way to shape the world.
Really, you can also let your players shape your world over time as well. So like my campaign just took a month break, as far like it was a month and a half break, but the world took a month break, and things happened as far as on my end that I'll go over when we start our next session. But also my players told me what they wanted to do, and they shaped what they did, their characters and the world around them, by just giving me a paragraph of information. I did this over a month. Okay, so this person, in my head, I'm like, okay, this NPC would have reacted this way, and this would have happened. They would have done the other thing. And the world is now shaped because my players gave me what they did.
So here's an example of that. So like Cal said, we took a month off, or a month and a half off in real life. The players had nothing.
It was a month in game.
The players had nothing adventuring to do in game for a whole month. And Cal asked us, so what did you do during that month? What did your character do? So I said, okay, I'm reading this verbatim from what I sent him. It says, for the entire month of downtime, Spaguglio was out in the woods being a hermit and trying to see if there's anything that could be learned about his sword. It's important to note that the sword talks. He's not just aimlessly walking around the woods trying to find information about a sword. He took the sword out to the woods to talk to it, specifically because he doesn't know if anybody else can hear it or not yet. So he didn't want to talk to it in town and risk giving all this information away. So it says there's a good chance people haven't really interacted with him much, meaning the people in the party probably didn't go to the woods with him. They had their own things they were doing. But he'd still go into town to buy food or supplies, so he wouldn't ignore anybody who talked to him. And also, before he went out to the woods, he cooked some abyssal chicken, because that was a big thing that we did before we went on break. So now Cal has to figure out what the hell Spaguglio learned talking to this sword as a hermit for a whole month.
Know. But I'm going to send it out to everyone sometime in the week.
But that's where that guy's at. So we've now shaped the world. Every character did that and said, during the month I was doing this. Now,
yeah,
kind of an example of a way that could shape the world. I'm going to make up character blah, blah. And, character in this world, maybe was really unhappy with the inequality that was happening between the Eladrin and literally everybody else. Or wait, it was Eladrin and Goliaths, I think, were okay and everything else wasn't. So maybe
and like Goliaths were, yeah.
So, maybe in that world, maybe that person's actually not necessarily campaigning for office per se, but trying to get political and having political conversations with people. And that's maybe rubbing people the wrong way. I could have just as easily said that I'm not okay with the way the Eladrin are treating people. And, I want to go back to, I forget what the name of the place was, but where all the political figures were, where that meeting was, and be like,
Olenara.
No, but the name of the building, the town municipal government.
Olenara thing was the town.
Yeah, but
where the meeting with the king, and then there was just like the building, the big town square building.
Okay. So it wasn't like a special government thing.
No, it was just like the governing of Olenara, and then the king showed up and was like, hey.
So, but I could have gone there and I could have been like, hey, I want to petition you. I don't think this is okay. I don't think this is right. I'm going to go talk to, maybe your manager. Is your manager around, King? If that is your real name.
Yep.
Go full Karen on him,
Is your real name? No, you just talked to a sword for a month.
No, yeah, I just went out into the woods and talked to a sword for a month.
Two of the characters went hermit, and the other two just kind of learned things.
But these are like really quick, simple, easy, clean,
dirty,
a little abrasive ways to shape the world. So let's I guess talk about the silly little campaign that we were working on. I should bring up the notes for that so we can talk about how
Daggerfall.
Daggerfall. Okay, so
you can call it daggers in the night.
Daggers in the Night. Is that going to be the name of the adventure that we're? That's it. That's
my first. That's the first draft. We can change it, but sure, that's we're gonna call it that for now.
Yeah, Daggerford Secrets is I think what we said we were going to call it.
I wanted to call it Daggers in the Night, but I said no. I'm joking. Daggerford Secrets is good.
So remember we talked about
Daggerford, not Daggerfall. I was saying the wrong
that we're coming down to Waterdeep, and somebody in Daggerford wanted us to meet there because he heard that there was going to be an attack on a merchant, and it turns out that he's actually part of a bigger scandal that he's not aware of, and everybody attacks Waterdeep. And we help fight off Waterdeep, and now we're at this point where there's probably some level of animosity between the party and the only good NPC in the game. So how do we shape that? Every fucking document I open.
Time travel.
Cal,
I really do like the idea, but I'm also going to give you like I actually like the idea a lot, and I'm very excited, but I need to give you a little bit of shit for it.
Every document I go into, the last line, and I'll go into the document, and then Cal will go into the document, and I'll see him type. It's not like it was there before. I'm watching him type it. Time travel. It's like you shit. So we talked about maybe Mind Flayers being in a place called Dragonspear Castle, and maybe they've taken over the Cult of the Dragon, and they're trying to grow the cult bigger, and they're going to do big bad things. So now, like I said, only good guy in the whole story. Party doesn't really know that, but only good guy in the story is now faced with a party who's probably mad at him because they all think, probably, that he lied to them. How are we going to shape the world around this? Waterdeep was just attacked, and presumably we won. And nobody died.
Right.
So what's
we could have lost and they could have ran away, but that's more of an improv thing.
But
we're gonna say that they won.
Let's assume that party wins.
Yeah.
Let's assume that party confronts. We called him Wilhelm. We didn't really have a good name for him, but let's assume that they confront him.
Hey, Wilhelm's a great name.
You know what? If your name is Wilhelm, this is the podcast for you. Would you like to sponsor? No. So
random dude named Wilhelm would you like to sponsor the podcast?
For $4 a month, you can sponsor an MC Calamity 3. You can help bring water. He lives in Flint, Michigan, and has no water.
Oh, now I'm sad. For $4 a month, you can take this webcam with my face, and you can put anything you want here.
Oh, God. We are going to get TOS'd. Look, you didn't say anything about phallic-looking tentacles when I took the ad out, okay? I just want it in and around his face. That's all I want. I just want you to put this phallic tentacle in and around his face. Look, I'm the reason he's alive. I gave him drinking water, goddammit. He's drinking it right now in front of me to spite me.
Okay, so they're confronting Wilhelm, and they got angry at him,
and they pull out their first tentacle.
Not everyone has tentacles, Rufus.
It's D&D. Everybody has tentacles, Cal.
We are dealing with Illith and Mind Flayers, so I guess, yeah.
Okay, so... Wow, what a segue. Oh, wow. I don't know how we got here, but boy, did we get here. So we've confronted him in the street. So probably what happened... Okay.
We're good. I'm good.
Okay. 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 So
just listening. All I did was just stare at the camera with a straight face.
I know. That was the worst part. Okay,
it was just red.
We're never gonna get this back. Never gonna get this.
Nope.
Okay.
Not gonna happen.
Okay. Try again. So we're in town square. We just finished a fight. Party's not happy with the only good NPC. Literally the only. Don't you fucking dare! And I can see you moving. I can see you moving the cursor. There's probably going to be an argument that ensues, right? So they're like, "Hey, you're a fucking dick. You told us to come here and do this, and then the whole town was attacked. What is wrong with you?" People are probably going to overhear that. They're probably going to get upset. So we can shape the world around this. Maybe this guy, he's the only good guy, but not trusted by the party. Maybe he gets put in jail. Then the next question is, does the party ever come around? If so, how? So there's a reason that these mind flayers... yeah, type faster. There's a reason that these mind flayers didn't control him. So clearly they have reason to want him to be set up. But you got to think of the long term of what do they want. So in my mind, and the way it works, they still want him alive and active so that they can do stuff. Probably set him up. Probably make him unhappy, but they don't want him to rot in a jail and they don't want him to die yet. So how are we going to shape the world around that? So, well, if the mind flayers control pretty much everybody in Daggerford, is it that far-fetched to think that they control a few people in Waterdeep? Maybe the people they control in Waterdeep either A, are part of the local law enforcement and can just get him out, or B, maybe they have someone who has great influence over the town who, again, can just let him out. So it's very easy to shape a world around conflict. And maybe that's where we should go. Your notes are the best. I love them. Never change. Never change.
I never will.
But that's maybe a point we should make here. Is it's easy to mold a world around conflict. It's easier to shape a world around conflict. Imagine if you were playing a D&D. So I'm going to put you on the spot here. Imagine that you're DMing a campaign where nothing bad happened. How would you shape the world around your players?
Where nothing bad happened, like
let's say for like the whole first session, nothing bad
happened.
How would you shape the world?
I would make something bad happen.
Yeah, exactly. I would make something catastrophic happen even. So like
if it's like a perfect first session and no fights happen, everyone talks their way out, everyone's all happy-go-lucky. Yep. I mean, there's still going to be a big bad somewhere pulling the strings that isn't going to like it. And maybe one of the people who was all happy-go-lucky was actually a secret agent, and he stabs one of the characters in the back.
See? Much easier to make that story move with conflict. It's no fun to say that, they rode the carousel for so long that they got hungry and fell off. And that's about 7 hours. And trust me, I've been on a lot of carousels. Like, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, right? Like, he ate so much cotton candy that he got a stomachache, and that would take about 4 hours. Because assuming that you can eat cotton candy at a pace of 5 chews per second, that would mean that you would have to, nobody wants a happy story.
Who eats at 5 chews a second?
Cotton candy?
Who would eat 5 chews a second? You understand how short of time a second is?
Yeah. Just
that
like
that was 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 4.
Okay, 4 chews a second. I'm not a mathematician.
Why not?
Well, clearly I can't do math. Computers. That's for one. But it's easier to mold that story around a conflict. Maybe there's something wrong with the cotton candy. No, I'm not going down that road, but
it's poisoned.
Yeah, then he falls off right away and probably dies or gets rushed to a hospital, or someone comes out of the woods and can make a magic antidote.
I feel like at that point you're getting too risky to Ex Machina.
Yeah. Cotton candy wasn't in Ex Machina. You're right.
No, the guy coming out of the woods. The only time I ever did that was to teach a mechanic for like a further fight. And
no, I get. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
But that's I guess the big takeaway that we want to come out with here is shaping that world in real time, because you're not always going to get to prep it. And we've talked about a whole bunch of different topics we're kind of like throwing together right now. There's like the idea of playing to your players' strengths and their weaknesses, which is if they don't care about all that detail, don't give them all that detail. They're clearly the person who's going to mash through it in an RPG, so they don't want it in their game anyway. Or they're the opposite. They want to know everything about everything. This is going to be harder to improv on the fly, but also realize that half the shit you say doesn't matter. If you want to give a dude a jewel that has like a super secret family emblem that they'd never heard of, they may never figure out what that is. You may never have to talk to them about it again. They might,
they might figure out what that is, though.
I mean, they might.
That might have to be an entire improv storyline.
I mean, your better bet would be to like have them discover it at the end of the session and then write the next session about it. But like, just give them shit. Oh, here's a thread that never runs out. It just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. It's like, okay, well, where did that come from? I don't know, the fucking ground. You picked it up. Good for you. You have it now.
I really want to know, and you probably shouldn't tell me yet, if that Dragonborn had a name beforehand, how important that Dragonborn was, because can I tell you that I honed in very much on that character, and I have a feeling that he did not have any importance at all in any way, shape, or form.
I will never tell you anything about that Dragonborn character.
At the end of the campaign, I'm going to ask about it for sure. That's something I want to know.
I mean, go for it. For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, you're going to want to head on over to my YouTube channel and check out last week's episode of D&D. Players got sent back in time and they met a Dragonborn who was being prejudiced against.
Good old Darian tried to save his life. And then we had a very deep conversation about pride.
That was way too deep.
I feel like that was very in character, and I like that.
It was super in character.
Well. I loved it.
I was just like, I don't want to contribute to this. I want them to do it all. Like I want them to have this heart-to-heart conversation, and I don't want an NPC to come in here and ruin this touching moment between man and machine.
Between gnome and machine, and also elf.
Yeah.
And man. They were everyone but Kenku was there.
So do we have anything else we need to talk about shaping the world? I guess just
pretty good.
I guess just realize that shaping the world isn't about the details, but it's about the actions and events that happen around it. Because you can shape the world. You're not shaping the world by going into detail. You're extending what you've already built upon, but giving a whole bunch of detail isn't pushing the story forward, and it's not pushing the world forward. It's giving the characters the lay of the land and allowing them to understand exactly how it's coming together. But whether I explain to you every building and every brick and every sign and every person in a town doesn't matter nearly as much as the fact that you've been gone for a month and the town is rebuilt. Or even better, let's back up a bit. Let's say you're in a town, it gets destroyed, and you go to chase the big bad, and a day later, you realize that you don't have enough supplies to make it, and you go back and the entire town is rebuilt. What?
That's great. You'd be like, what? And then you'd want to know why and like what's happening.
Yeah.
And there you go.
And then it's probably an illusion, but shaping the world around it. Do the villagers know that this is an illusion? Maybe the characters see through the illusion, but see that the villagers are just sitting on top of the debris or eating wood thinking it was an apple.
Here's your biggest plot hook.
Oh boy.
Everyone's a mimic. Everyone's a mimic.
Everyone's a mimic. What about that mimic? Nope, that is Steve.
Players instantly lose all trust in their DM. Everyone's a mimic.
We once played an adventure, specifically the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and we got onto this really freaking crazy 2-hour improv trip. Like the second session in, first time DM, we're going on a 2-hour improv ride. And at the end, it ends up with this like big like bare knuckle brawl in the inn with the red brands. And one of the characters on his turn creates a readied action to tackle the next person who walks in the door. The next person who walked through the door was Sildar Hallwinter.
Oh boy.
Who was actually partied up with the PCs at this point because they were short a player. And Sildar developed an irrational hate for this character and refused to stand in front of that character throughout the entirety of the campaign. So Sildar was a fighter using a crossbow, standing behind the ranger. But because the ranger class is so terrible, he actually hit more shots than the ranger did.
Nice. Yeah, rangers are pretty terrible. They're so bad.
But I think that's all I have for this subject. I don't really have anything more about shaping the world. Like I said, my biggest piece of advice is events, not details. You can go into detail, but the detail isn't what shapes the world. It's not. I'm going to keep repeating myself over and over again.
Major events, minor events, but all events, not so much the details. Details are nice for certain parties that really like them, and totally go into detail if your players like them. But events, things that cause the world to move forward and not be stagnant.
You'll find that your life as a DM will go way, way, way smoother if you let them make up the details and let them think that you came up with it.
Yeah.
So like, oh, what do I see on this wall? And it's like, oh, you see, and then they roll really, really high or something like that. You're like, oh, well, you're looking around this wall. You don't see anything on this wall, but if you, over to this side, you actually find a note. What does the note say? Oh, well, the note's in a language that you can't make out yet. In next session, it's going to be a hell of a note. Because I'm going to find someone to translate that for you. And that's where all the details are going to come from.
I mean, I'd even just say when you get it translated, it'll be a hell of a note, and just take my time to write it out.
No, I'm thinking that in my head.
Maybe it takes them a while.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking that in my head. I'm not saying it to them. But, maybe they get the note translated and it says, go back and look at the wall from this angle. And it's like specifically from like maybe a rooftop at exactly like 12 o'clock when the sun hits like a lens.
Are we doing a Hobbit thing?
Yeah.
Where it's the keyhole in the side of the mountain?
Basically. But, maybe they get a detail like that. And it's like, shit, I crit that. But it's like, oh, I needed to be standing way over there. So the detail is still there, but I didn't have to come up with that detail on the fly. I just had to tell them there was a note that they can't read. But I can still give them the level of detail that they crave without needing to, oh, well, you look at the wall and you notice that there is a brick missing. And when you look inside, you see that there is a toad that can talk and his name is Jeremy. And then it's like,
his name is Jeremiah, and he was a bullfrog. Thank you very much.
I was trying to get close to that without going there, but that's like,
I always take us there.
Because like, then the next question is going to be like, oh, what language does he speak? It's common. Great. Now I want to talk to this frog for 2 hours. And it's like, no. Why did I lead us down this rabbit hole of something that I thought was insignificant that you now fell in love with?
It's a frog hole, sir. There were no rabbits involved.
Oh, did I say rabbit?
You did say rabbit hole. You said rabbit hole.
Oh,
you frog hole.
Oh, yeah. Now we're down this frog hole, and I don't know how we got here, and I definitely don't know what the hell a frog's going to say that's interesting. How can I make a conflict to get them off of this and shape my world again? Oh, the frog got stepped on by a giant. Wait, there's giants? Okay, now we're back into something else.
Frog is actually a prince. You can go really traditional.
It doesn't matter. He's squished now.
He just killed the late Prince Jeff.
Yes. Prince Jeff. First of his name. What was his last name? Jefferson.
Jeff first. Yep. It's Jeff Jefferson. He's the prince of the king of the town that you were sent to go deal with the catacomb undead with, and now he's dead. So now you have to explain that to the king as to why Jeff Jefferson is dead.
Jeff Jefferson from Townsville. Yes, I knew him very well. What? Oh,
and
please
that's
tell
a good segue to improv.
Tell us more about him. He was a frog.
Improv.
What kind of flies did he like?
There are times in your campaign where your players will go in a completely different direction that you weren't expecting. And if you're reading it off of a book, there might not be any instructions to it. And so you, as the DM, have to make the decision. Is this, like, what do you want to do? You have to improvise. I can think of two really major parts in my Curse of Strahd campaign that I had to improvise. One was Ismark. Ismark's supposed to be a pretty nice character. He's a pretty good dude. I forgot about him for an entire session, and my characters decided that he had gone off with Strahd. So I had to improv and make an entire side story where Strahd had kidnapped Ismark because Ismark was wandering around at nighttime at some point, and did this entire elaborate thing where on the road Strahd had Ismark in one hand, almost dead, threw him to the ground, and they did a conflict with Strahd. And like Ismark's story went from being this just nice guy who wanted to help out to like this back and forth. Like one of my characters still didn't really like him because he thought that he was stupid for going out at night, which is right. And I was just trying to like get Ismark back into their good graces a little bit by a little bit, because he's not supposed to be a bad character. Ismark is supposed to be a good person.
I feel like at that point you just write him out to be a villain. He's just a villain now.
I almost did, but I didn't want to stray that far from the book. I wanted to keep it kind of close-ish to the book.
Oh, it's so hard.
And then
to
the second one is where my campaign ended, where one of my characters there's a room in Castle Ravenloft where there are gems.
If you are currently playing Castle Ravenloft,
please,
you plan to, go away.
Please mute whatever it is, because there's
or if you're gonna listen, just don't tell your
spoilers.
Just don't tell your DM.
Don't tell your
you heard
friends.
it from us. Yeah, just don't tell your mom.
So there's a room in the basement in the catacombs of Castle Ravenloft that is a teleporter room, which is supposed to be your way out of Castle Ravenloft. It's supposed to be, because you don't necessarily have to do Castle Ravenloft in one shot. You know, the doors lock and you're like, oh, there's no way of possibly getting out. My players almost jumped off the roof with a couple spells and got out that way. But then they decided to go into the catacombs. Yeah, you know what? They had the ability to survive it. Like, they could have technically jumped off the roof and been fine. But they went to the catacombs. They went to this room, and one of my players that apparently wanted to end the session and the campaign made a series of very terrible decisions that the group decided they didn't want to, that the group didn't really want to make. Essentially, there's a bunch of gems, and each one you throw into the fire brings you to a different place. It's a teleporter. Now, there are 2 iron golems that come to life if you deal any damage to the brazier, which is where the fire is, or the hourglass, which is the timer. Now, this specific player made the decision to throw every single gem in at the same time. And in my DM mind, after I had already warned him with one of the NPCs, and everyone else in the party had already told him this was a terrible idea, when he made the decision to say those words, I was like, okay, the hourglass cracks from all of the magical pressure, and the 2 iron golems come to life. And that was the end of the campaign, because that player wanted it to end, and that was life. I could have tried to work out of that any form of like decent, like I could have tried to keep the campaign afloat, but there was really no point at that point, because then it was just a really series of unfortunate events. The turtle that wanted to, there were 3 of us that still wanted to play, but the turtle that was in the room ended up banishing himself, which was kind of cool and living. And then there was the NPC and the human blood hunter that also lived, and they did I wrote them an epilogue, but that was it. And that's a case where improv as the DM is like, well, I guess it's time to end this campaign. Kind of sucks, but I can't say that there's 0 consequences to your actions, and everyone plus me have hinted so many times this is a terrible decision. This even is slightly out of character for your character, but you leave me no choice. Everyone is now dead.
Gems fall, everyone dies.
It kind of sucked.
The unfortunate part is that player didn't actually make a decision that impacted them, because it actually didn't. they didn't have to play at all, but what they really did was make a decision that impacted everybody else that they were playing with.
Yeah. And yeah, two iron golems against that party. I even like.
No way.
So they both did 10d8 poison damage. So I should have done 20d8 poison damage at the start of the fight. I ended up doing only 10d8 because both of them do a poison breath.
Yeah.
And the single one knocked almost everyone unconscious. So it's like if I had done the two, everyone was dead. Most people died there. If the turtle hadn't banished himself, it would have been as well. He would have also died.
Oh yeah, no, it's
It was,
like I said, it's more unfortunate that they ruined it for other people than themselves. I'm trying to find that D&D combat simulator that I had to see what it says about this whole thing.
So it was 4 or 5. I guess it would be 5 level 8s because the NPC Esmeralda is a challenge level 8.
Yeah.
So it would have been 5 level 8s versus 2 challenge level 16s. And they had a lot of physical damage against 2 things that had 21 AC.
Which
mathematically
episode?
There was very little chance.
Here we go. I'm pretty sure I must have put a link in here somewhere. Nope, I'm an idiot. Cool.
But yeah, it was just that's like a case of improv where you have to make the decision as the DM. Okay, I guess this is. Sometimes you got to make shitty improv decisions because you can't have 0 consequences. Or that player will just go about doing literally whatever they want for the rest of the campaign, or they just won't show up next week because they obviously didn't want to keep playing.
So what did you have? 4 level 8s?
We'll say 5 level 8s versus 2 challenge rating 16 iron golems.
5 level 8s. This is just random classes, but it doesn't really matter. Iron golems. And there were 2 of them. And we're going to simulate 100 fights. And start.
They might win like a small percentage. Depends on if they roll low, if the golems roll low, but like.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is
I also forget
whether 2 wizards, a cleric, a fighter, and a rogue win 0% of that.
Yeah.
Which
doesn't happen.
The monsters win without breaking a sweat. This is more for the people who said that maybe, because you remember there were some people who thought, let's do it.
Maybe it was possible.
Yeah.
Well, because theoretically it was possible.
It's not,
they rolled ones on everything.
Like, bounded accuracy states that 5% of the time they're going to hit, and I don't care that you have 3 extra actions. You only have a 5% chance to hit. So, like, even right now, like, they have 2 wizards. That means there's 2 people on that team who are potentially doing shit that requires saving throws instead of attacking. I'm now running 1,000 fight simulation to see what happens. It's going to be the same. Yeah. It's going to, like, it's going to be 0 because it's impossible. I don't even know if they could beat 1.
I'll be able to beat a single iron golem if they get lucky, but 2 is just not going to happen because you're mostly just dead on the first 2 rolls.
But like on top of that, like you think about this, if they had full health and full resources, maybe they beat 1.
Maybe
they beat 1
because that entire room was built to be like, if someone decides to be reckless, they die.
Yeah.
That's the entire room of Castle Ravenloft. It's so simple because there is no aggressive, like literally the room is laid out with the hint in it and everything that like gives you like the vague description of where every gem is going to go. Whenever they wrote it, they never expected anyone to throw every single gem into it and just say, "Oh, let's see what happens." At level 8 too, because Castle Ravenloft, it's not Castle Ravenloft. It's the Curse of Strahd.
If you
is
run
an extremely tough campaign to get through. No one in Castle Ravenloft should be playing that recklessly.
You know what? I'll give credit where credit is due. Over 1,000 fights, they won 0.3% of the fights.
I'm surprised they won any at all.
Yeah, they won 0.3.
Needless to say, when I ran the fight, I ran a round of I said I ran a single round, and then they all just like I wasn't dragging that out.
So
those people are dead.
We ran 100 fights 5 times and they won 0% of the time. We had to run a 1,000 fight simulation for them to win less than 0.5% of the time. So you tell me,
golems are rough.
You think they're going to win that? No. And chances are they don't have all their spell slots and everything at their disposal.
Not.
Yeah.
They had an okay amount. I think they had taken a short rest.
It doesn't matter. That 0.3% was like if they were
still doesn't happen.
Right? So like they're done.
Yeah. They're done.
You dead, Sonic. Like, get out of here.
But yeah, like that's two good things. That's two good ways. Two interesting looks at improv. You have the one where you take a character, you forget about it, then you bring them back in and you improvise some way of trying to bring it back in as a hook. And then you have the other one where someone goes off the rails in a really stupid way and death is what happens through the improv, and that's fine. Like that is a totally fine conclusion that happened there. It's sad, but there's nothing you can do about it. You just say, okay, this is what happens in this room. So sorry, but you're dead.
Oops, you're dead. I think I don't have anything else to add to that. I think for real this time, I've said that like 3 times now, but I think for real this time, I don't have anything else to add to that.
I think Rivers is trying to kick me off the show.
No,
trying to say end it.
You can keep going.
I'm actually good. Any other improvs would give away my current campaign.
Please tell me everything.
No.
If you enjoyed this even a little bit, like or subscribe depending on your platform, or if you didn't, tell a friend to like and subscribe instead because somebody should. And we'll be back next Monday with another podcast at 8 Eastern, 9 Atlantic, but also we'll be here on Thursday doing our Donkey Kong Country Race Part 3 at what time?
8 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Rufus time.
Atlantic time.
Rufus time.
Yeah. Next Sunday there'll be some D&D on Cal's channel, so we'll be hosting that here when that happens.
Yeah.
So
on the 15th, it's this coming Sunday.
And it'll be every Sunday after that. There will be D&D hosted here. It won't be put on by this channel, but it'll be hosted on this channel and
every week.
You guys have a fantastic evening, night, or morning, or wherever you're from and whatever's going on. And
fantastic something, that's for sure.
Yeah, have a fantastic. What's a
fantastic?
Have a Fanta.
Have a Fanta? I don't know. I don't know if I like Fanta.
Me neither.
Okay, bye.